and welcome to the next iteration of the Secretary Salon sessions. I am thrilled today to present literally my best friend in the world, Alban Gerhardt, the amazing cellist, and Alexei Volodin, the pianist, who will join Alban and play himself as well today for this recital. I met Alban, I want to say now 25 years ago when I was in London. He and my good friend Stephen Osborne were rehearsing for a Wigmore Hall recital at my cousin Jennifer and Roger's house. I listened to part of the rehearsal, and then for some reason, the three of us decided to go out for Chinese food, and it was kind of, love at first bite in a sense. We have been the closest of friends ever since. So I'm absolutely thrilled that Alban and Alexei are here. I also want to just mention that as of now and going forward, you all know that I recently became chairman of the Knights Ensemble, which I'm thrilled about, taking over from Mela Hacklich, who just did a most amazing job for the last 10 years. I'll introduce you to her and Bridget Mundy, the executive director, during the Zoom part of this, but just thrilled that they are going to participate as collaborators in the Secretary Salon sessions. At the end of the program, Mirang will share a Zoom link in the comments and send an email for the live Q&A, as always, in Zoom. Just to remind you, you are welcome to make any comments in the YouTube video live stream, but that will be seen by everybody. So just so you know, be nice. If you need any help during the program, just text or call Mirang, and she'll share her phone number in the comments as well. Just want to remind you that this is live stream, so we've got the fun and the stress of a live performance, but we thought it would be fun. So hopefully, all things technical will go well. So without any further ado, let me introduce you to Alban, who will take it from here.
Thank you so much, Paul, and thanks for inspiring me to do my first self-made live stream. I've done a couple of live streams, and you did as well, no? Without audience, so we just play and somebody's filming and orchestra is playing, but that we are now in charge of light and microphone and camera, that is a new for me. So I think I haven't been that nervous in quite a long time, because I'm not a technique freak. But thanks to Paul, I have really got into it and tried to enhance the sound. I won't bore you with the details, but it took about half a year. He said, once you figure out how to get better sound, call me. And I told him I'm ready. But then he wanted not me alone, but me with a pianist. And I didn't know anybody. I live here in Madrid since 3 years, until my manager told me that wonderful Alexei Volodin lives in Madrid as well. And I knew him as a player, but I had no idea that he lived 10 minutes away from me. So I asked him, and he was happy to do it. So we met 12 days ago for a first sound check with Miriam, and now we met again for the second time in our lives. So only for you, Paul, we came up with this program, and I thought maybe a German-Russian program. I mean, Schubert is not German, but my grandfather was Czech, Austrian, so figures out it's all the same. So German, Austrian, Russian program. And obviously, Paul is the greatest Rachmaninoff fan, so I asked Alexei to include some of those gorgeous periods. And we're doing the slow movement as well, which, is one of my favorite pieces.
Yeah.
To quasi as a programmed encore. The opening will be my favorite Bach suite. I mean, everybody knows Bach wrote 6 suites, and it's the Bible for the cellists. Even though probably if you ask Bach at the end of his life, he didn't remember that he wrote that, because he wrote so much more important things. But for us, it's a blessing. And I'm so happy because they pale in comparison of difficulty to all the piano or the violin repertoire. The 6 Bach suites are pretty simple, except the last one, which is not for cello, but for so-called cello piccolo, which had 5 strings. So it had a C, a D, a A, and an E string. So this is the only suite which is technically a bit more demanding, and musically, I think it's the most difficult and most interesting. Still not comparable to the Passions or to the partitas for piano or violin, but it's our best, and I love it very much. I often play it as an encore, and I did play it actually as a farewell to my mother, who died 13 years ago. And that's a story which connects me with Paul. Not only 25 years ago we met, but he came to visit me when I played in Spokane. And the day he arrived, my mother had just passed away, and he was there the whole day for me. Your father had passed away.
Yeah.
1 year before that, no?
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So it was amazing to have you there during this darkest day in my life
Yeah.
so far. And you encouraged me then to play that same night the Elgar concerto. I think you said that my mother would have wanted me to
Exactly.
do that. And I hope she wanted it.
Yeah.
But I made it back in time for the funeral, so I played that suite. I mean, it's not a sad movement, but it's heavenly. So
yeah,
I'm trying to.
great.
The next piece is also not for cello originally, but for a very strange instrument. It's called an arpeggione, and I don't know anything about the instrument, so I checked Wikipedia yesterday, and Schubert knew the virtuoso of the instrument back then in 1820 something, 1824, who asked him to write a piece, and he wrote a piece. Supposedly, that instrument had just been developed. So he wrote that piece, probably it was played, I have no idea, but at the time it was published in 1871, the instrument had already disappeared. It must have been some kind of bowed guitar with, I think, five strings again. So that fits well. I didn't know. Okay, so the Bach and the Schubert both were five-string instrument. The one a small cello, and this one a big guitar, I guess. And I mean, I have avoided playing that piece because it's so dangerous. You will hear why. I played it when I was very young, and I played it for my teacher when I was 12, and he hated so much what I did that he put me back on zero. I had to play like open string for half a year, and, because I failed so miserably with that piece. When I asked Alexei what we should play, his suggestion was the Arpeggione Sonata, and my wife said, "No, don't do it." And I thought, because she said that, obviously I had to take a challenge. So thank you, Alexei.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you agreed.
That beautiful piece again. And well, why did you actually pick it?
I don't know. I thought I was looking, for some virtuoso who would be able to do that, because the piece is obviously very challenging for the string instrument. Maybe not so much for the piano, even though I shouldn't say it too soon. But I thought, I thought since I have a chance to play with Alban, I thought, why not?
I think I was pushing. I wanted to play with him, so he's like, okay, I'm doing an audition here. This is an audition for me, auditioning for Alexei, so that I can play more concerts with him. So cross your fingers that I won't fail completely.
Now it's time for Rachmaninoff. I will play two preludes. One is D major and the other one is C minor. That's from the first set of the preludes, because there are two of them. And as you know, probably Rachmaninoff composed 24 preludes each, one piece in each key. So, and that's from the first set, which is Opus 23. He composed them in, I believe, in 1910 in Ivanovka, his beloved village, where he was spending almost every summer, I believe, and where a great deal of piano music was written by Rachmaninoff. And this is a place where he was the most happy, most inspired always, and he composed so much there, including his third piano concerto. He practiced there as a pianist, preparing for his concert tours. You know, he was touring as a pianist, not so much, but playing mostly his own music before he immigrated to the United States. So, and if you look at the dates where the preludes were composed, you will see that he was writing one prelude per day, which is an incredible pace, considering that some of them are not just small preludes like Chopin-sized preludes, but Chopin 24 preludes, but they're quite big pieces, elaborate, some of them. So first is a D major and second is C minor, which might remind you of the Waldorf second piano concerto in the same key. There we go.
Wow, thank you. You have no idea. It sounds so cool in here. The microphone cannot catch what I got here. I'm the lucky one, but our backup camera the camera just turned off. 1 second. I just switch it back on, just in case. I think it's these. No, battery is out. Okay. What is the main? Oh no, it's back. Shostakovich. Everybody knows and loves him, and he probably was a rather sad and depressed and paranoid man. But I heard, I grew up that he was not liked in Soviet Union, but actually that's wrong. His first opera, Lady Macbeth, was for the first 2 years huge success. Then Stalin didn't like it, and then things went north from there on. But 1934, when he was working on Lady Macbeth, he fell in love with the singer. So he left his wife Nina, and in that year, in August, while having this heated affair with this young singer or dancer, I don't know, he wrote the cello sonata. Very short. I mean, it doesn't sound anything like a love story. Rather depressed and a little naughty. Actually, the last movement is a bit naughty, so maybe there he has some biographical things. Because actually, after that heated affair, he made a child with Nina, and he got back with her shortly after. But actually, they were married, divorced, and remarried again. So in between these 2 episodes of his marriage, he wrote that amazing cello sonata, of which we will play the slow and the last movement. And he writes, the beginning should be played all on the C string, which is always quite interesting, because our C strings is full of wolves. For people who don't know a string instrument, they don't know what a wolf is, but a wolf is something like, sounds like this. So I try to avoid them. Amazing scales. Well, Shostakovich was a phenomenal pianist. Beautiful, I mean, very fragile actually. That's why I don't agree with Shostakovich being played too self-indulged and
No,
fat.
actually, his dream was to be also a concert pianist, and he was playing a lot of Liszt etudes, Dante sonata, many things. He participated in the first Chopin competition in Warsaw.
Okay.
And got pretty far there, and well, there are many nuances to that, but yes, he was a real pianist, not just a composer.
But fragile. He was not like.
No, he was a subtle man, but
yeah. Anyway, our little encore for Paul, my best friend in the world, the slow movement of the Shostakovich sonata, which is written in 1901, and actually I haven't found anything interesting about it, except that it's one of the great pieces for cello and piano, actually.
Rachmaninoff, you said Shostakovich.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Rachmaninoff. Yeah, you're
Getting
still
late.
back there.
Thank you, Alexei.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening and thanks for having us. Oh no, now we're too high. We have to look in this. That's the right camera. So should I lift the camera for talking? 1 second. That's better. So how will that work now with the question and answer? Oh, just to explain, my end pin slid down. I mean, for 40 minutes it was fine, and somehow with the vibrations, the screw. Oh, why is that now pointing this way?
Because you moved it.
But is that? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Strange. But we're in the center. Anyway, so here you see it's going down. That's why I had to lift it up, because I didn't want to start playing like this. So I opted for going trumpet style. How do we do it? I don't know.
Thank you both. If you exit this and switch to Zoom, we'll see you in Zoom.
Well, how do I go to Zoom?
There's a link in the comments, or I'll also send it by email.
I don't see a link. Shit. Sorry. Is it on the paper you sent us?